So we're only taking the top part of this pink, that's like from the under bust up, and we are making this one on the right hand side. It comes with a strapless bustier, a basque waistline, and the mermaid skirt. So if that is your vibe, then kindly watch this video to the end to see how this was achieved. On my pattern paper, I've created a space for front and back, and this part right here will be for the front, and this other part will be for the back. Now, this line that will serve as the starting point line and also the shoulder line, from that line I'll be going down first to the bust point, then to the under bust, and then to the waistline. Her waistline is actually 17 inches, but I wanted to try what 18 inches would give. And then after the waistline, you go down to your basque length, depending on the length that you're going for. If you want to do it here, or you can also do that after drafting and cutting your pattern like I did in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and read this out, and then I'll come back to this starting point line, which I said will serve as the shoulder line, and mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I will be going down to the chest line, and on that chest line again, I'll be marking the shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'm going to be marking it out like this, and now we have the shoulder line, the chest line, the bust point line, the under bust line, and then the waist line. Next, I'm going to come down here to 1.5 to slope the shoulder, then mark 3 inches here to slope the shoulder to. I'll just slant it this way, and once that is done, I'm going to get the midpoint of this line from that shoulder slope down. Once I have it, I'm going to go in there to 1/2 inch, then take it to the shoulder tip like this, then come to the chest line and take the bust measurement divided by 4. Once that is done, I'm going to use my curve to cover the armhole this way. Then I'm going to mark the bust span, that's the nipple to nipple divided by 2. I'll mark that on the bust point line and also on the waistline, then connect it straight this way with my ruler. For the dart intake, I'll be doing 0.75 on both sides of the bust span line, and then I'm going to be taking it all the way to the bust point on both sides. I'll just extend the dart all the way to the bust point, just like this. Now I already have the bust measurement divided by 4 on the chest line. I'll come to the waist and take the waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 1.5 that's intake. Then I'll connect it to the bust measurement. And for the bust dart, I'll be doing 1.5 because that's the difference between her front length and the back length. Then I'll slant it to the bust band this way. Now to tighten the under bust, her under bust measurement is 27. 27 divided by 4 would be giving me 6.75. So what I'm going to do now is to measure this 6.75, then the remaining, the excess I have, I'll use that to tighten the under bust. I'm going to measure from here to the first dart leg, and then once I have it, I'm going to transfer what I measured there to this second dart leg here and measure until I have my 6.75. I'll mark it, and I'll measure from here to the side seam line. I have about 1.1, which I will just say is 1 inch, and that's what I'll be using to tighten the under bust. Now you can decide to just share it 1/2 inch on both sides, or better still, you decide to share the smaller part to the center, like 0.25 here and 0.75 here. But whatever measurement you're taking it from the existing dart line we already have there. I decided to share it 1/2 inch on both sides, and from the existing dart legs I went out 1/2 inch on both sides and connecting it like this, or covering it to the bust point this way. You see that it's just the exact 1/2 inch from the existing dart line. Okay, once I'm done covering it to the bust point upwards, I will now extend the dart all the way to the waist dart with this part of this curve this way on both sides. And once that is done, this is what it's looking like. Next I'll be doing now is to go up to her over bust, and because this is strapless, I'm doing 3.5. Her deep bean is a bustier with yoke. Her over bust is 3 inches. So here I have 3.5. Then I'm going to get the midpoint of this shoulder slope. Once I have it, I'm going to take it all the way to the bust span like this. The next thing I'll be doing now is to tighten the over bust, and I'll be doing 0.625 on both sides as the over bust tightening. And once that is done, I am going to be using this straight part to connect it to the bust span like this, and then coming to this side, I'll be using this curve. I'll be making this part a bit curvy. And once I'm done doing that, the next thing I'll be doing is to through the dart to make sure that they are the same length. And to do that, I will measure this part this way all the way to the bust point. Then whatever it is I measured, I'm going to make sure I have it on this center part. So I have about 3.75, and I'm making sure that this center one is the same 3.75. Then I'll start from the shoulder and measure down to my neck depth. You're going down to your desired neck depth, and once you have it, you're going to give it any neckline shape that you want. But I'm deciding on sweetheart, so I'm doing sweetheart neckline, and whichever way you choose to place your curve, it's fine. Then once I'm done with the neckline, I'm going to just blend this part in to the neck to the armhole curve. You can decide to freehand it, or you use your curve to just blend it in this way to the armhole curve. Once that is done, I'm going to be tightening this part with 0.75, because this is just strapless. There is nothing to support it or hold it up. So you try to tighten this part to make it look as curvy as it is on the bust area, with no form of gaping or any part of the bust area falling in. Do you understand that? Then once you're done, you can decide to add that same tightening to this down part, but most times you don't need that. Okay, after cutting your pattern and you see that you need it, then you go ahead and leave it, but we will still be working on that. Now coming to the back, I'm going to get the back length, which is going to be 1.5 shorter than what I used as the front length. The front length I used 18 inches here, so here I'll be doing 16.5, yeah, as the back length. Then this will be the center back, and here the shoulder line, and here the waistline. Now I'm going to mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2 on the shoulder line. Then from that point, I'll be going down to the chest line and mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2 again on that point, and use my ruler to just mark them out this way. Next, I'm going to tighten the center back, contour the center back because it's not straight, and I'm using 0.75 for her. And then I'm going to place my curve like this and just curve it all the way to the shoulder line, just like this. Now my measurement will be starting from this curve. I'm going to take the bust measurement divided by 4 on the chest line. Then coming to the waist, I'll be taking the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch, that yeah, to replace the dart intake that will be coming in later. I'll start from the shoulder and go down to the neck depth, and I'm using 9.5. Then I'm going to take it all the way to the bust measurement, or the bust width, like this. That's how the back neckline is going to be. Next thing I'll be doing now is to mark the bust span. I use 3.5 on the front. Here I'm doing 3 inches, and then I measure from the initial center back to that point. Whatever it is, I'm going to mark it here 2 on the neckline, just so I have a straight line as the yeah, bust span for the back. So I added 1 inch that replacement to the waist measurement. That's what I'm using now, half inch on both sides. Then to the top part, I'm using 0.375, and after connecting it, I'm going to throw the dart legs to make sure that they are the same. This is just to ensure that you don't have any shortage while joining where it's not necessary, so you just have to make up for the shorter part now on your pattern. So here we have the side back, and here we have the center back. And now I'm going to also indicate the top part, because after cutting this out, it will get you confused if you don't label this. And indicate the top part and the down part. Okay, I'll follow the center back contour line and add my zipper allowance of 1 inch, and place my curve like I placed it to contour the center back initially, to mark out the zipper allowance this way. And now we are pretty much done. But in any case where you didn't measure the person for the cape, like I didn't measure this girl, we are not in the same state, and I didn't measure her. What you're going to do to help you as a guide is to measure from here all the way to the shoulder slope like this, because that's how the cape is going to be. Yeah, so you're measuring from the center, from your neck depth, the center front, all the way to the shoulder slope. Whatever it is you measure there, don't bother adding the bicep. You know, when you're making off shoulder, that same measurement you usually use for your sleeve, don't bother adding it. Then you're measuring the back too. We are supposed to slope the shoulder for the back, so you're taking it like 1 inch away from the shoulder line all the way to the neck depth. Whatever it is you measure there, you're going to plus it with what you have on the front. Like I said, don't bother adding anything to it. Whatever exactly what you measured here now, if you have your pattern right, just use that to cut out for the cape, and it's going to come out well, with no form of gaping or any excess, and it won't be too tight. Do you understand? So after that, I'm now going to cut the pattern, and I'll separate it first, then cut out the back pattern as you see me do it. After cutting the center front, like the center back, I like to notch the top part and the center back. Yeah, that's how much I don't like to make mistake. Then to cut the front, I'm going to open up the waist dart, then slash the bust dart this way, apply my water glue and place it back on the bust point line, then blend the side seam like this. Then I'll close this same dart this same way, slash it, apply the water glue and place it back on the bust point line. Then I'll go ahead and make up for the distorted center front by adding this fresh paper here. Then take it straight like this all the way to the end of the paper with the help of my straight ruler. You just have to make it straight. Then after that, I'm going to blend in the neckline again to this new line. Now once you're done, you're going to retake this measurement like this replacement here. But I already said that if you look at your pattern and you don't need it, just leave it. Once you need it, your pattern will indicate for you. And as you can see it here, I do not need that because this shape that we have here, you're not supposed to have it like that. So after cutting out the pattern, I would take that off. And after cutting the center front and the side front, this is what it's looking like. Then I'll go ahead and take out this part. And now you're going to be cutting the center back two of that, the side back two of that, the side front two of that, and then the center front, you're cutting that on fold. But before transferring the patterns to the fabric, you would have to work on the basque effect, and I'm going to just tape these two down on this fresh paper this way, then make this part straight. That's like the center front. Then from the waistline, I'll be going down to 5 inches depending on your desired basque length. That's how much you're going down here, but you can go down anything from 2.5 upwards. Okay, then I'm going to just give you this curve again. You're doing your desired shape or curve at this point, but I'm going for this round shape this way. And of course, you're going to extend the bust span, or yeah, the line in between. You're going to also extend it all the way to this new curve. And once that is done, the basket is ready, and you are going to be cutting it out this way. You see that it's easy doing it this way in case you find it very hard to do it while drafting your pattern. So now, like I already said, we'll be cutting two of the side front, and then the center front we are cutting that on fold. And for the fabrics I use this plain and this floral fabric. I'm not sure what to call them because these days I don't know the name of any fabric, but I used about 2 yards of each of them. The floral one, I'm not sure it's up to two because I already used it for something else, but yeah, I'll be using that for skirt, and then the plain one for the top part. Now to cut the skirt, I'll go ahead and fold this using the hip measurement divided by 4 plus at least 3 inches depending on how wide you want your mermaid to be. And after folding it, I'm going to be holding it down with pin because it's lightweight and it's quite stretchy and slippery. So you just have to use your pin at this point. Then I'm going to be placing the whole gown length, which is supposed to be 65, but I'm placing 66 or 67 here. Then the waistline was 18 here. I'm marking 17 here as the waistline. That's how you're going to do it. You place your whole gown length, then you go up to the waistline, and yeah, instead of marking the 18 inches I used as the waistline on the top part, I'm marking 17. The other 1 inch will be the allowance. Yeah, and I said you'll be folding this using your hip measurement divided by 4 plus at least 3 inches. Here I have about 7 inches extra added to the hip measurement divided by 4. Then I'll start from the waistline and go down to the hip line, then to the knee line. So from the waist to the knee, you'll be going up 3 inches from your actual waist to knee. You see the effect that gave us, yeah? So if you want that, or if you want it more pencil, more fishy, just use your exact knee line. Then on the waistline, I'm going to take the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5 allowance. On the hip line, the hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5 allowance. Then I'm going to minus 3 inches from her hip measurement, her round hip. I'll minus 3 inches from that, then divide that by 4 and use that as the knee measurement. So that's like if her hip is 39, I'll now minus 3, that would be 36. So 36 divided by 4 would be giving me 9 inches. Yeah, plus the 1.5 allowance that you're using. Then on the down part, I'll mark the hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra 6 inches. That's how wide I want it, plus the 1.5 allowance because I have enough fabric here. Okay, that's a consolation because I totally forgot that I used just 2 yards to make this and I folded this much for the front. But I'll be going up here to 1.5 to contour this end part so that it won't be too pointy and blend it in just as you can see me do it. Once I'm done with that, I will take the measurement again. You're taking the hip measurement divided by 4 plus at least 3 inches, but you're doing anything from 3 inches to 8 inches for the front. I won't even advise that you go beyond 6 inches or 7 inches for the front. Then for the back, we can make it as wide as you want it. The back can take just any wideness, but the front, if you add too much, is going to reflect on the side knee. Okay, once I'm done connecting the measurement, the waist to the hip to the knee, and the knee to the down part, I'll cut it out as you can see me do it. Then after cutting it out, I'll go ahead and pin it down too. Then fold this remaining part to cut for the back part, and I ended up not folding because the fabric was no longer enough to fold. So this is just the fabric laying on the floor and it's not folded, but I placed the one we already cut out on it, and now I'll be going down from the waistline to the hip, then to the knee. This part will be the center back. Yeah, I'll be going out here to 1 inch, and on the hip I'll be going out to 1 inch. Then on this knee, half inch. That will be the zipper allowance. Half inch on the knee, 1 inch on the hip, 1 inch on the waistline. And because I don't have much fabric, I'll just be adding 3 inches to this down part here. Let it not be like we are hitting on it, because I actually hate to leave the center back of mermaid skirt just like that. So 3 inches there. Then I'm going to basically trace out what I already have, like the front skirt. I'll just trace it out on this piece of fabric, except that we have zipper allowance on the center back like this. So after cutting it out, I'm going to be placing it on another fabric to cut the second one. Remember I said that this is not on fold, so I'm placing it on this one this way and tracing it out. I'm making sure that it's right side to the right side, and I had to join this at some point to make up, because I already say that I wasted much fabric for the front pattern. But yeah, this is what it's looking like after cutting it out. Then I'm going to be cutting it out on the lining like this, making sure that the lining is about 2 inches shorter. If you are using a patterned fabric, please don't use my method though. Make sure you have enough fabric so that your pattern will be going left and right. Do you understand? And after transferring the top patterns to the fabric, this is what it's looking like. I have 4 pieces of both the center back and the side back, because you already know that I like to use same fabric as lining if I have enough of that. Then I interface one layer of paper stay. Then on the bustier layer on the fashion fabric, I infused my wording there. We'll be seeing more of that while we start joining. Then this is the front part, which I already cut out. That's the skirt here, which I already cut out the lining, and I said that the lining will be about 2 inches shorter because I don't want the black lining popping out while wearing the dress. Then this is the back. I repeated the same thing. I have 4 pieces in total, 2 pieces of the fashion fabric and then 2 pieces of the lining. And then the lining is also shorter with about 2 inches on the down part. So we are going to be joining now, and we'll be starting with the top part. And I'm hoping to do that with you in my next video. But for now, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you soon.